Good afternoon to you, sir. It is 6 o'clock, time to begin our August 16th meeting, and then welcome to each and every one of you. This time we'll go to item 1, accreditation of the police department by commission on accreditation for law enforcement agencies. Kalia, to the chief. Chief Brian, where you at, sir? Yes, sir. Let me say congratulations on your reaccreditation for the national accreditation. I want to underline national. This is a big job. It's a big thing to do, and it really makes your department much better. It makes the city of Monroe look good, and this was started by Chief Deborah Duncan some years back. So, good job on keeping your national accreditation. I'd like to hear from you a little bit.
Yes, sir. We went at the end of July to Baltimore, and we were recognized gold standard accredited police department agency with excellence. They were very complimentary on the programs that the police department has for the youth and the things that we're doing in our community with our children. They were very, very impressed by that, and actually some other chiefs that were there wanted some of our ideas and what we're doing with like our Police Athletic League, our partner with Second Harvest Food Bank. So we got a lot of accolades for what we did, but it's not me, it's the department. These officers and our civilian staff work extremely hard, so I was very proud of them. It was a very big accomplishment for us. So I just want to bring it to your attention. We were reaccredited with gold standard and excellence. So
Very good. Congratulations.
Chief, I just like to add one thing. I'm just so proud of being here in Monroe and knowing that we've got a police department full of men and women that just do an outstanding job. That's something to really be proud of these days. When you get gold standard, and those CALEA assessors were tough when they were here. They spent a week with us, and they talked to a lot of people in the community, and they said that this was one of the best police departments that they had seen in a long, long time. And they go everywhere nationwide. They don't just come to North Carolina. They go everywhere. And I think that speaks volumes for us. And it's just nice to know that we live in a city where we can have that kind of standard today. And that speaks volume for the entire agency. Thank you.
Thank you.
Brian, it says something for the department, but it also says something about our city. And I just want to call it to attention. It's not only the police department that's got national accreditation, also the fire department has got. So I'm real proud of that also. It's good when we can sit up here and talk about both departments being national accredited. And it's a hard job to get accredited. It's a job to do. And so thanks for what you do, and thanks to Chief Ron for keeping us accredited here in Monroe, North Carolina. Good job. Consent agenda, Larry?
Mayor,
yes, sir.
there is one item I'd like to have pulled from consent agenda. Item number 12.
Well,
Pull that from
12.
consent agenda for further discussion.
Item 12?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Consent agenda, and we're going to pull item 12. When we get through the consent agenda, Mr. Jordan will go into that. Okay.
Thank you. Mayor and members of the City Council. The City Council uses the consent agenda to consider items that are non-controversial and routine. The consent agenda is acted upon by one motion and vote of the council. Items may be removed from the consent agenda and placed on the regular agenda at the request of a council member or citizen with the consent of council. The consent agenda contains the following 11 sets of items, excuse me. Item 2, pursuant to the North Carolina General Statute 105-373A, the tax collector shall report the preceding year's tax collections, which was $17.9 million out of a possible $18.1 million in change, with a collection rate of 98.53% for 2015. Item 3 is for the purpose of awarding the contract for constructing the API Powder Facility substation to T&D Solutions in the amount of $207,000 and change. There were 11 vendors invited to bid. 6 responded. Bids range from the low bidder to $384,752. The work will include labor, equipment to install surge arresters, pole switches, transformers, foundations, grounding, and oil containment facilities. Item 4 includes 2 budget amendments. The first is for the purpose of the police department accepting a $500 donation from Councilmember Anderson's discretionary allowance to be used for the police explorers. The second is for the purpose of reappropriating incomplete items and projects from fiscal year ending 16 to fiscal year ending 17. There are 16 items totaling $1.4 million in the general fund, 2 grant items totaling $149,000 in the downtown Monroe fund, and $68,000 as the value of land conveyance to Landmark by the electric fund. Item 5 is for the purpose of calling a public hearing to consider a zoning map amendment for property located at 806 Circle Drive from conditional district ETC crematorium to conditional district ETC crematorium amendment 1. Item 6 is for the purpose of approving the budget ordinance amending the fiscal year ending 17 budget, closing various projects, returning unspent funds to fund balance, transferring and reclassifying projects from operating to capital projects. Item 7 is for the purpose of authorizing the tax collector to collect taxes for fiscal year ending 17 pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 105-321B, which the tax levy totals $17,967,538. Item 8 is for the purpose of approving Hangar 5 improvement agreement with Arrowwood Aviation, which if adopted will split the cost of improvements to the building and grounds with Arrowwood. Costs for improvements are $11,000 and change, and we've offered to reduce the annual rent of $11,000 and change by half or by 50% for 1 year. The owner, Brandon Atkinson, is developing this hangar to house Cirrus aircraft. Also, Mr. Atkinson is in the planning stages to build a 15,000 square foot hangar in support of being the regional Cirrus Sales and Service Center. Item 9 is for the purpose of awarding the purchase contract acquiring a digger derrick, which is a line truck in the electric division, from Alltech Industries in the amount of $260,567. 3 vendors were invited to bid to respond. Item 10 is for the purpose of approving 3 labor force contracts in amounts up to $500,000 with Lee Electrical, Pike Electric, and Utility Lines Construction to support operational needs of the electric division system. These contracts will supplement workforce gaps, providing capacity to respond to widespread system outages and to meet the capability and capacity requirements to complete multiple capital projects this fiscal year. Item 11 includes minutes and reports, first of which is 11A, which involves disbursements for fiscal year 2016 through 2017 for City Council's discretionary fund. Council members are provided $1,000 each on an annual basis for disbursement at their discretion towards items that meet the public purpose definition of permitted items that the municipality is authorized to perform. There are 4 sets of disbursements this period. Mayor Pro Tem Duncan's dispersed $150 to the New Life Community Temple Faith. Councilmember Anthony dispersed $300 to the Ark of the Union, Cabarrus counties, $400 to the Monroe High School Athletic Foundation, and $300 to the Community Shelter. Councilmember Anderson dispersed $500 to the Monroe Fire Department Explorer Group 181. And Councilmember Cazias dispersed $2,800 to the Union County Community Shelter and $200 to the Monroe High School Athletic Foundation. Item 11B is financial reports, and in summary, the unassigned general fund balance is approximately $7 million as of June 31st. The total fund balance is $27 million as of June 31st. There are 8 sets of minutes that are C through I. 11J is summary of contracts awarded, change orders approved, and city manager's settlement of claims. The number of contracts for this period are 55, totaling $1,270,000 in change for this period. And there were no claims settled this period. Item 12 has been removed and placed on the regular agenda. Item 13 is for the purpose of approving submittal of an application in support of renovating the building located at 113 South Main Street, which may involve the outfit of interior surfaces, upgraded electrical, plumbing, mechanical, new windows, and a new roof. Mayor and members of council, this concludes the summary of items placed on the consent agenda.
Any questions?
Move approve.
Have a motion?
Second.
Have a motion second, all in favor? Aye. That's approved, and we'll go to item 12, the purchase of property on 113 West Morgan Street.
Mayor, I recall the city, and I can't remember if this was the address, purchasing or selling some property at 113 Morgan Street, that we had, declared as surplus property some years ago. Is this, somewhere near that property, or is it the same property?
Brian, could you?
Yes, that's the same property that was sold, I guess, years ago before my tenure here. It's the little alleyway that caps off behind the downtown office, between the downtown office and the warehouse.
Okay, if we declared it surplus property and sold, and the amount we sold it for, I can't remember, it's $15,000-$20,000.
Right, correct.
It was a small amount of money. Why, or what has made us decide that we need it again?
Well, it's come before council a couple of times and discussed at General Services several times to open up that alley as part of the master plan. We've tried to purchase it before, and currently the owner has worked with us to make that happen.
Okay, what's the sales price?
We're purchasing it for $110. And let's see, the total value is $97,300.
Okay, explain to me how we came up with the difference in $15,000 and $20,000 and now $100 and some odd thousand that we want to pay for it. Do we have it appraised and the appraiser says it's worth that?
Well, it was appraised. It was appraised at a larger value than the 110, and I don't have that on hand right now. But there was an appraisal done, and the owners, I mean, Joe.
Well, and you're answering my questions.
Okay.
I'm just
Yeah.
wondering how we have property we declared surplus, sold for $15,000-$20,000. And I can't understand, I'm having problems understanding how it was only worth $15,000 to $20,000 to us as surplus property, and now is worth, $110,000 to us.
I can't explain that either.
The same person that, is it the same person that bought it, that sent it back to us?
Yes.
Didn't the county, Brian, in that county appraised at that number?
The appraisal that we had done, what was it? It was 182.
What about the county though? I'm talking about on the appraisal.
Oh, the value,
Yeah.
the tax value is the 97.3.
I guess I'm just having.
That's land and structure.
I guess I'm just having trouble understanding how we recently paid, I guess at our last meeting, paid a little over $200,000 for a building and property. And, and we've paid, $400,000 for another building and property. And this is just a very small area. But anyway, I wanted to pull Mayor because I wanted to make sure that that was not something that I was missing by not having it explained to me.
No, you're correct.
This, you said it's gonna be to open up for the,
Right, the building would be taken out. In the master plan, it suggests that we open up that alley and make that kind of a courtyard between the warehouse and the properties on Main Street, that front Main Street. That would allow the development of those easier ingress, egress, all that different things, make an urban little courtyard through that area.
It
So that's
does,
the reason for purchasing it.
it does add a lot to downtown. It's gonna make it much more pedestrian friendly. I think the master plan calls for closing that street, and I could see that made into cobblestones, and it just makes the area much more friendly. It is a high number, but I think that it's worth it based upon what it will do for the downtown growth and development. That's just my opinion.
Those are the only questions I had, Mayor.
all right, any other questions? Hearing done, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed?
Nay.
I had one and what's two. Okay, did you get that, ma'am? Go to the regular agenda now, item 14, resolutions of project with North Carolina Department of Transportation. I think I've got a couple signed here for that. Scott and is it Randy? Scott, yes, sir. I have two signed up to speak on item 14. Resolution supporting project with North Carolina Department of Transportation, convert 3 full movement crossovers. Who wants to take that first? Okay. Jim?
State,
Jim, okay.
Good evening. The North Carolina Department of Transportation currently has a proposed safety enhancement project to convert the intersection of Secrets Avenue, Old Paisley Monroe Road, and US Highway 74 to a signalized super street. With the assistance of economic development, a stakeholders meeting was held by NCDOT with the industry in the area on March 22nd, 2016 to discuss the proposed changes at this intersection. Pursuant to the comments received, DOT made modifications to the super street design at the intersection of Secrets Avenue, Old Paisley Monroe Road, and Highway 74. And they also had a number of comments regarding identified crossover risks by the participants east of this intersection. Thus, the Department of Transportation developed an additional project to add 3 directional crossovers and a blowout for tractor trailers along US Highway 74. Pate Butler, Regional Traffic Engineer, is present tonight to describe the planned improvements and to respond to any questions. Also, Scott Cole, the Deputy Division Engineer, is also present. At the conclusion, staff and the Department of Transportation is requesting City Council to approve Resolution R-2016-33. I'll turn it over to Pate.
Okay.
Good evening.
Hey there, how you doing?
My name's Kate Butler. I'm the Regional Traffic Engineer for NCDOT, and I just want to give you a little background on the project that we have proposed and the one we're here to talk to you about tonight. Currently, where the star is located, that's an intersection of US 74 at Seacrest, Old Paisley Monroe Road. And as Jim mentioned, that's the location that's currently funded and going to be constructed soon. It'll be let out for bid in the next month, and then the 90-day construction period will more than likely be between March and June of 2017, just prior to our resurfacing map that will come through and finish off the job. When we met with the stakeholders in the field, they asked us to look at the 3 locations identified with circles, the 3 crossovers located east of this intersection in addition to this intersection. At the stakeholders meeting, we went over what's proposed at Old Pageland, and this is just a pictorial of what we're planning to do at that location, which is a signalized super street. A lot of their concerns included their trucks, heavy truck volumes, things like that. So we made some accommodations, lengthened some turn lanes, but this is the overall dynamic of what you will see in the spring being constructed. Just down from that, the 3 locations that they asked us to look at are full movement crossovers right now at grade, which to us is on a multi-lane divided facility, and that grade crossing is a high potential for crashes. These particular locations, we have done all the analysis. We've run it through congestion management to make sure for the volumes of traffic on US 74 that modifying these crossovers will work. We've also looked at the crash history, which even though they said there have been a lot of near misses, we unfortunately don't get the information about near misses. We only get actual crash reports. So that we didn't have a lot of crashes to justify a project of this size. This is a tremendous project when you talk about 3 locations and modifying each one of them. But what's being proposed at the 3 crossovers on the first 2 are eastbound, westbound, directional, back-to-back lefts. Basically what that'll do is anybody coming out of the side streets, like off of Old 74 or Bivens Road, will no longer be able to go straight across. But you can turn right or left. I mean, you can turn right and turn right in and right out, but you just can't turn left out of the side streets. No movement on US 74 would be restricted in any way. Everything is the same for anybody traveling on 74. At the next location, down where it says Yale Security, that location, since it's only on one side, that's going to be a directional left into the facility, and a directional left that would basically be going into that field will actually be made to accommodate car U-turns at that location, so that if anybody coming out of one of the other businesses needed to actually go westbound, they can make a quick U-turn and they're on their way. For the tractor trailers that leave the facilities that need to make a U-turn and go westbound, the last circle is where we would build a full-size bulb out that would accommodate a wheelbase 67, which means the tractor trailers can turn without, with ease, and make the maneuver to go back westbound on US 74. To give you some information about this project that I don't have in my slide, the total project is $1.2 million. We put this together on for incentive funds from DOT. Every project that comes out of my office are based on safety improvements. When I said there weren't any crashes necessarily here to prove the benefit of this, I've actually gone to the state traffic engineer and already asked him for consideration to use incentive funds. Incentive funds is what we apply to facilities where we want to modify access. The more you limit access, the safer you make a facility, and you reduce conflict points where crashes can occur. So he tends to favor projects of this nature and approved me submitting it as a project. So the background work has been done as long as you all agree from a resolution standpoint for this project. To give you some of the results, the volume data was reviewed, like I said, with congestion management, that these maneuvers will be just fine with the tractor trailers as well as the volume on 74. It showed that the existing storage lengths for the left turn lanes are adequate at the minimum of 200 feet is needed for the U-turn lane. The crash data didn't indicate a problem at any of the locations, and even though the crash data was minimal, he has agreed to allow the project to go forward. So basically what we would need from you all is a resolution in support. Typically, if we limit access, especially where there's a lot of businesses concerned, we like to have the support of the community and the town, if it happens to fall within municipality limits, in support of a project like this so that we can move forward. But the project is ready and sitting on, it's ready to go. And like I said, it's a $1.2 million project, none of which has to pay for it. We pay for the entire project out of safety incentive funds. So does anybody have any questions?
I would like to make a comment.
Okay.
We've had you guys twice before us now, Rocky River Road also, and I've been real impressed with our local DOT. Been straight up, you've been fair to us, you gave us the opportunity to make our own decision on Rocky River Road, and I'll be glad to make the motion that we approve this.
And second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any other comments or questions? They're gonna approve it. Let's see, anyone else want to speak on this?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank the council for having us and listening to kind of what we had to say and some of our concerns. It sounds like you're already much in support of it. We're very much in support of the NC DOT's plan in the area, but it did, I'm glad, Ron helped us facilitate and Pate. Listening, we do have some concerns, and if you saw the intersection where we have to cross every evening, I have 205 employees that have to leave that building, and they don't have a good way to turn west, and most of them are heading west. They have to kind of dodge out across eastbound traffic and kind of, sit in the middle for a little bit and wait till the westbound side clears. And this would do a lot to help their safety. I'm surprised. We've had a lot of near misses. I've had people come and tell me that, again, I almost got hit. And if you see the truck traffic that we're having, trucks actually have to cross that lane and wait for the westbound lane to clear, and all the time they're actually blocking the eastbound lane. So they got to look for an area to wait till they can cross, and I've seen them sit out there for 10 or 15 minutes, because if they turn right, there's no good place in Wingate to turn around either. So again, I really appreciate your support of this, and I hope we can get this accomplished.
Okay,
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, I have a motion to second. All in favor?
Sir, you got one more.
Time.
Just
Oh, yes, sir.
Real brief, I just want to echo
Oh,
what Fran said. I'm Scott Vallandigham, work for ATI Specialty Materials. We've got 70 people directly adjacent to where Fran's outfit is, and same kind of experience, people trying to get over, and you kind of get hung out to dry there, because in the particular crossover that we have, you've got vehicles coming from directly in front of you, behind you, and the side, so you can kind of get blocked in there. So it is very dangerous, a lot of near misses, and appreciate your support. One of the things that first occurred to us, over and above the existing risk, is that with the improvement that's further down, we agree with that program as well. But it'll make it more difficult for the adjacent businesses along with ours, because now you're going to have more free flowing traffic. So the level of risk will actually be elevated. So supporting this resolution, really thank you for your support there, because I think in the end, safety is the most important thing. If you can't do it safe, you don't want to do it. So thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks for
appreciate
your
it.
time.
Thank you very much. All right. I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, that'll pass. Thank you very much, ladies. Item 15, recommendation of appointments, reappointment to the commissions.
Yes, Mayor, the Citizens Appointment Committee met on August 1st, 2016, and recommends that the council make the following appointments. Monroe Historic District Commission, appoint Jennifer Smith to a full term as alternate to replace Nathan Gillespie, term to become effective 1/1 through 12/31/2019. Also, a appointment of Loretta Melancon to a full term to the Public Enterprise Committee. It's a one-year term beginning January 1st, 2016.
All right, any comments, questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Hearing none, that'll pass. Thank you, Ray. Item 16 is public comment period at this time, and I have a couple signed up, and I'll take them in the order they have signed up. Robert, hear you at this time, sir.
Robert Yanchek, 513 Everett, and I appreciate you guys and everything you've been doing in the historic district. It's actually starting to look pretty good. I know you guys have been on some walks and made some changes, so really appreciate that. Let's hope for some speedy developments downtown. We'll get that turned around also. The reason I came before you tonight, just to speak a little bit, historic district's kind of our thing, and we're trying to turn around. We've had some issues on Everett Street with crime and things of that nature. And there's one pole that doesn't have a street light. And I've been working with the city engineers and stuff, and apparently it doesn't quite meet the requirements for the street light based on spacing. For some reason, it's the only only pole on Everett that doesn't have light, including Maurice, Talleyrand, Charles, and Huff. And I don't know if you can see this on the phone. I don't know if you guys can turn that on. There you go, try it. You probably can't really see it too much. That's the house during the day, across the street from our residence actually. And at night, it's actually totally pitch black, so the phone won't even work. It just falls directly between two lights. I had the calls for service printed out for Everett Street, just the 500 block. In a year and a half, there are 336 calls for service. Most of them occurred at night and within one or two houses of that house. So talked to the engineers and stuff, and they said they really can't do anything without approval from someone else. That's why I came before City Council, see if I can't get one light put in.
We'll have the city manager take a look at it.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Robert. If you will check that, please, sir. Michael, 450 East Village Drive. Michael, we recognize you this time, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
How you doing?
First, let me commend you folks for the fine job you're doing to make Monroe such a great city to live in. I'm here representing the residents of East Village Drive, and those that were able to make it today stand up. Why am I here? Well, first of all, I did give you a copy of the petition, and also I gave you a copy of what was published in the Monroe Inquirer Journal on July 20th of 2016, expressing that we do not want to have a homeowners association. But why am I before this board? I'm before this board because in 2001, the Monroe Union County's Community Development Corporation stated that it was you that mandated that East Village Drive have an homeowners association. But as I look at the petition that they submitted December of 2001, senior planner David Fensel was just reading the proposal from Advantage Homes represented by Rob Nunn and Monroe Community Development Corporation represented by Isabel Gillespie. He was just reading what they submitted to him. He was not mandating that the homeowners association be out there. We don't want it. And that's pretty much all I have to say, sir.
All right. Well, thank you, sir. I'll have the city manager and our attorney work on this, and they'll be in touch with you, sir.
Right.
We do have his name and address and all that, don't we?
Yes, sir. I do have a copy of the petition that several of us hit door to door on. And because of privacy issues, I didn't give each of you a copy, but I'm willing to release the petition to you, Mayor, if you would like.
Do we need that, sir?
Mayor, it's always a good thing that way for us to be able to at least know. Although once he does release it, it is a public record, so if he provides it, someone can ask for it.
Okay, someone could ask for it. It could be a public record.
I got a couple questions to ask.
All right, move on. All right. All right.
Based on what he's saying, not counting interest, that account would have $102,000 in it. Does that mean for the last 15 years that this money has not worked as far as helping your subdivision at all?
In the letter that I had in the Monroe Inquirer, July, I mentioned that it's been over 2 years since we've seen a statement concerning all the monies they've been collecting. I was in the office of the CDC in July, and that's what fired me up to put this in the newspaper. And I believe I saw where there was about $52,000 plus altogether. And I can attest that none of that money recently has been spent at the subdivision. I think it may have been 2014. A sign was put out that says no trespassing where there were no loitering, where there was a turnaround. And I would imagine the sign couldn't have cost more than $100 less. But all the monies, and we don't see anything. But the primary thing is we don't want to have a homeowners association.
Who is the president of the homeowner association?
Currently is the builder, Rob Nunn, and the Monroe Union County CDC. But again, we don't want to have a homeowners association out there.
Okay.
Thanks, sir.
You will be contacted, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, folks. We got some closed minutes we need to. Minutes from a closed session, sure.
You need to go in a closed session first.
All right, okay. Have a motion to go in closed session, someone?
So moved.
You got something to read?
I move that we go into closed session pursuant to the North Carolina General Statute, sections 143 through 318,
11, A1, A3, and A6 to prevent the disclosure of information that is privileged or confidential pursuant to the law of this state or of the United States, or not considered a public record within the meaning of Chapter 132 of the General Statutes, to consult with the city's attorneys in order to preserve the attorney-client privilege between the city's attorneys and the city council, and to consider and give instructions to the city's attorneys considering the handling of a claim, judicial action, mediation, arbitration, or administrative procedure, and to consider the qualifications, competence, performance, character, fitness of an individual public officer or employee.
All right, have a motion? Have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All right, we're going to close session at this time.
Bruce, just leave that on.